Streaming cyberspace into your place. The fifth stop on the schedule for the 36th season of Formula Neagle brings us to Oulton Park Circuit. On tap, races number 7 and 8. And you can see all the Absolute Beginner League sanctioned action right here, right now on the Virtual Grip Network. From Little Budworth in Cheshire, England, a jolly good hello and welcome. Zach Shaggy Chapman joins yours truly, Bill Soups on, high up in the VGN broadcast booth for you, our Word's Eye View. We play Ryan Seneker, turn the knobs and pushing the sliders. Let's get right to it. Shaggy, tell us about this road course.
Well, you know, it's a track full of a lot of elevation changes, quick hills, little bumps. Going to bring 17 corners at us today. Right now I'm riding on board with Neil Bamber. He's going through Cascades here, turn 3, and coming up on one of the quickest parts of the track. You know, you basically have a flat out turn 4 up here, and then a little quick braking as we come into a real high bank turn 5. We're going to see a lot of people try to outbrake, maybe even carry the high side and try to pinch the guy down on the bottom. We're coming up into probably what this track's most famous for. It's first of 2 chicanes here at Britain's. Real hard. They're going to get as close to the tires as you can. Bamber went a little wide there on the final apex. You don't want to get that close to the rumble strips. But coming in hard, this will be another passing section looking to really outbrake. Go hard in there. That's his lap chicane. And coming up here, turn 12. See a lot of off tracks here as he gets really close on the turn 12 exit. Really carrying a lot of speed going up through turn 13. Turn 14 right here, they call the water tower turn. And coming up here through Druid's Corner, turn 15, and see the Warwick Bridge. Carry a lot of speed going up under this thing into the final 2 turns. Turn 16, real hard on the brakes. Maybe carried a little too much speed. You see it goes off.
Whoa!
And he loops it around right before we never made it to turn 17. But you see a lot of elevation changes. We're in for a hectic race here today, Sue.
Shows you the perils here. It looked a little dark on the track. You might be worried about the weather. Well, the billows are passing through between us and the sun, but those billows are nice and fluffy. We have clear, dry weather here today. It should be a good day to go racing here in England. Let's quickly talk about what the format is today. This is round number 5 of 6. Now, today's race is 2 twin 20-minute races. The results of race 1 grids the second race with the top 5 being inverted. They are actually races what would be 7 and 8 on the schedule. We don't expect any pit stops. If you do, you're not going to finish well. It's open setups, and they have drivers racing in 2-man teams out there. Qualifying is open, so if you can find somebody to get behind that's quick, you can maybe get yourself a nice tow and get yourself a good qualifying time. Let's quickly take a look at the points. We'll talk about the top 5. And really, this season has all been about one guy, Marcus Byfeld. He has won 5 out of the 6 events so far. The only time he was bested was in round number 1 when Philip Hammer got him in the opening race, but we haven't seen Philip since. David Burns moves up into second position after Mikael Hofladezen had a horrible time last time out at Road Atlanta, but the bad news is for Burns is he is not here today, so he'll be dropping down the points. That's the first time that he's missed a race so far this season. Ludig Sauer sits in 4th. Now get this. His results so far this season, 8th, 7th, 6th, 6th, 5th, 4th. Do you see a pattern developing there? He continues to improve each race. Look for him maybe to pick up a podium here in England. And then there's Bambi, Neil Bamber. Started the season horribly with a 12th and a 9th to open up in South America. Then he followed that up with a 10th. But then things have really been going good as of late in the last 2 stops. 5th, 4th, and 3rd. So Bamber on a run there. Small field today, Shaggy.
Yeah, you know, and that's just going to magnify your mistakes that much more and really put the pressure on these drivers. They know everybody's going to be watching them, and I mean, you got to go right away in these 20-minute sprints, so you don't have time to be patient.
The points pay down to 15th. The good news for everybody is there are only 15 drivers here today, so everybody gets a point. Orange slices for everyone. All right, let's go through the grid right now. Mikael Hofladezen surprisingly sits on the pole, so he's going to be leading going into the first corner, hopefully for him, in front of Marcus Byfeld.
Yeah, Andre Solander, the Salamander, is going to roll off P3 in the 140 into his outside. We've got Neil Bamber in the 45.
Then after that, it's veteran Vincent Bream in the 5th position. He's going to be inside of Ludwig Sauer.
Wojtek Potacek's rolling off P7 to his outside, Daniel Salo.
And then as they continue to grid up there, we have a newcomer. The name is Sky Stenik. We've done the research. We're not sure. We're going to go with a female driver on that one. If we are incorrect about that, don't blame us. Blame Mr. and Mrs. Stanek for naming their child Sky. After that, to the outside, definitely a male, Frederick Neptune.
The 94, James Molyneux is rolling off in the double one position, and Franz Josef Stum to his outside in P12.
Vladimir Stajic behind that. Matthias Gustafsson in the 14th spot, and the last one out there is Stefan Milas. All right, standing start. We got through everybody. Glad you are here with us today. 20 minutes of racing on tap as they grid up. Beautiful day to go racing. This and one more stop left on the schedule before we crown the Season 36 champion, which, unless lightning strikes Marcus Byfield, it's going to be him. All right. Gather at the chicken steak, covering on the cows because the horses are out of the barn. It's Mikael Hofladezen out in front with Byfield in second. Weaving back and forth in third. That's the Salamander. Andre Solander. Solander with a great run out of corner number 1. And he moves to the inside of Byfield. Byfield says, not right now. I'm in the preferred racing line. And he holds on to second. Solander continuing to work on the back. Rounding out your top 5. Well, that is Bamber and Bream.
That's what you love about turn 2. It really encourages side-by-side racing because turn 3, you saw it there for Byfield. It turns into the preferred line. So going to get a lot of back and forth through turns 2 and 3.
Oh, we caught it on camera. We got ourselves a spin. That was Hofladezen's teammate Ludwig Sauer that goes around. And more damage. Frederick Neptune as they were turning around. Oh.
Yeah, Neptune didn't really have anywhere to go. Salo kind of re-entered it a kind of a dangerous way, and Neptune paid the price there.
Up front is still Hofladezen, Byfield, Slander, Bamber, and Bream. Hofladezen not able to pull away. Where's the passing zone here, Shaggy?
You know, we're coming up on one here. You get a long straight here as we go across the start-finish line, but I don't think Byfeld's in much of a hurry right now. He's seen Hofladezen push his car a little too hard in previous races, and I think right now, you know, you just try to be that guy, just trying to make him push his pace a little bit and see if you can make him mess up right now.
We were on board briefly with the points leader. You can see him stalking Hofladezen. Andre Solander made that early attack for second position early on. He's fallen back. You can just see him at the top of your screen. But right now, there's Solander right there. But the action is up in front. My goodness, less than a car length back is Byfield. What confidence he has in the braking, or not an early braking, of Hofladezen. Man, he is right on him through the twisty section.
Yeah, just really trying to get him to push that envelope, trying to get it to bend a little too much. But, man, he's talk about the cojones. Yeah, to be right on a guy coming down into hard braking, you got to really know your points.
This is the first time Hofladezen has sat on the pole, put in a good qualifying run. And there's a bonus point for leading a lap, and he's got that right now. Of the 6 races so far, Byfield has earned the fast lap bonus point 5 of the times. He looks now to the inside just to peek. He spies, he tries, but Hofladezen denies. Yes, there's action all through the field, but right now, folks, I'll be honest with you, the best racing is right here up in front. Now looking to the inside. Oh, what's going on right now from Byfield is he's trying to annoy the commentators, where he's just pretending that he's going to make a pass, but I don't think he really wants to.
Nah, he's just trying to rattle that cage of the 81, get him peeking from side to side, using both those side mirrors, and just letting him know, hey, man, I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere.
You can see on the intervals on the tower on your left, this is the closest battle. We're going to stay here. Because not only is it the most exciting, but it's probably the most precarious as well. The yellow and blue machine of Byfeld. The yellow and blue machine's checkered machine. The IKEA colored scheme of Hofladezen coming right at you. Love that low angle shot as they head our way through the chicane, or what we're going to call a chicane.
Yeah, so much trust from Byfeld for Hofladezen, and followed him that close through the chicane, Soup. We know all you need to do, kick one tire off those set of tires, and I mean, he's going to collect both of them. So you really trust the guy in front of you when you're following him that close.
Okay, I'm going to keep one eye on this battle, and I promise we'll cut back to it if it gets tough. Let's go back a little bit and look at what is happening 2 cars back, where Solander is trying to be chased by Bamber. And again, you can see the leaders up there. They continue to race very close, and we'll jump up there if there is a move. But right now, oh, there's a battle that we found.
Sky Stanek, I believe. Yeah, making the move.
She got the pass made. So she moves up into 8th position. Nice gain for her. Started in 9th, picking up 1 spot. Okay, this is against my religion, but quickly, let's put the camera on car number 54. Stefan Milas, this is our big mover, but again, Milas didn't put in a qualifying time, so they'll be, well, not with the same enthusiasm.
Yeah. It is tough to want to call a guy hard charger, you know, and they didn't get a chance to put in a qualifying time.
Call him the big sandbagger. Back looking at the leaders there. Oh, look at that. There's Bamber has really caught up to the back of Solander. I love that camera shot. You can see the leaders up in front and then Bamber and Solander right behind him. Best 2 battles on the track are up front right now.
And you know, Bamber, you said it, an excellent job. I mean, he's closed on him the last 2 laps, but Soup, closing on him is one thing and passing him is another. It's so, this track thins out at so many areas. The guy in front of you almost has to make a mistake and really open the door for you to get around.
Indeed, especially early on like this, we still aren't even to the halfway mark. Even a 20-minute race, sprint race like this, still plenty of time for the drivers to make their move. Let's go ahead and paint a little more picture for you. Let's look at 5th position. This is Vincent Bream, and I believe that Ludwig Sauer is beginning to close. So you're really looking at 3 pairs of drivers up front. Hofladezen and Byfeld in the battle, Solander and Bamber working together, and soon Bream and Sawyer will be together.
Yeah, and we know that battle for 5th place means a lot, especially in these sprint races. Because
it does indeed. Now look at that battle for the lead. Byfeld now is right there, continuing to keep our attention. He looks pestering, feeling. Some like to call it reconnaissance racing, just testing the water.
And Hofladezen doing an excellent job on these corner exits. He's really letting the car float the whole way to almost the grass, using up all the track to make sure he has that exit speed, because Byfeld, the second car in line, he does get a good bit of draft going down these straightaways. So Hofladezen has to do everything he can to maintain corner exit speed.
Yeah, I really need to varnish my words here so nobody gets an ego splinter, but Hofladezen has a reputation of being hard to pass. Let's see right now, he's down in there as well. He will fight you. Now, that doesn't mean he's a dirty driver by any means, but he's not going to give up a spot if he doesn't have to.
No, you know, it makes you think of Fernando Alonso. That's flattering.
Yeah.
You know, if he likes you and he knows he doesn't have the car for it, maybe he's not going to make you work for it. But, man, if you're the guy who's winning every week, like Max Verstappen, he's going to make you earn that pass, I guarantee it.
Well, I've never seen Mikel Hofladason in a car he didn't think he could win with right now. And he's out in front. He's led the first 5 laps. I know laps aren't important when we have a timed race on this. We ride on the gearbox of Mikel, looking back at your points leader, Marcus Byfield. This is probably the most that Byfield, well, there were some races where he actually didn't get to the front, but it's not often that we see Byfield chasing. I honestly think when you see the momentum that he has, that it's right there. He's just not forcing the issue.
No, I mean, why would you? You're the points leader. The guy second didn't show up this week, and the guy in third's right in front of you. So you're not letting him make up a lot of points. You've got the fastest lap of the race. You might as well just be easy and be smooth here.
Well, the problem with his racing technique is he risks making a pass that we're not going to get on camera because we can't stay on him the entire time. As he continues to press, we will try to cut back. I will keep one eye on that battle as we're going to talk about third place again. And again, I would like Bamber to get up there a little bit and see if he can get around that man. It's Andre Solander. He's been racing in third the entire time.
And, you know, you talked about Ludwig earlier, but he's got that lead down to about 6/10 now for that final, or that 5th place position for the pole in the next race. So Ludwig's going to turn the heat up on Bream here over the next couple laps.
Indeed. In fact, you talk about passes made on track. Well, the top 7 drivers are all racing in the same position they gridded in. Hofladason, Byfield, Solander, Bamber, Bream, Sawyer, and Podacek gridded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's where they race right now. Sky Stanek started in 9th. She made it up a spot, gone to 8th. And then again, we have Milas, who is up several positions. Sandbagger that he is.
Neil Bamber almost made the move there. He thought about going on the outside.
Look bad at him.
He sees, man, there are people showing up in Bamber's mirror. He knows he's got to go now. All of a sudden, we're going to have a 4-car battle here for the final spot on the podium.
Quick jump up front for a minute. Not sure if Byfield made a mistake or if he's just backing off, but all of a sudden, Hofladason's got himself a good 8-9 car length lead.
Yeah, you know, when you get up right behind that car in front of you, Soup, the front end starts to slide a lot more. You really do feel that, and you can heat up the tires, make them real mad. So I wouldn't be surprised if, like you said, he's just creating himself a little bit of a gap, going to let those tires cool off for a half a lap or two and try to go back at him again. But he's been right in that air wake the whole time.
Well, with about 8 minutes of racing to go and lap times at around 1.5 minutes, you're only so many bites of your favorite part of the apple right now. So if Byfield has found a place where he would like to make the pass, he might want to get there. I wonder if he's thinking that Byfield might be benefiting so much from the draft right now, and this may be also Bamber's thinking as well, maybe even Sawyer, that sitting behind the driver and making it at the very end might be the strategic move. If you go too early, you give the benefit to the driver who's behind you.
Yeah, well, Bamber, he's on the looking to the outside right now, side by side for P3 here. Can he make it stick? Ooh, a little too deep, and he's going to lose momentum. He may lose 4th here.
And that has brought in the battle of Bream and Sawyer. Sawyer back there in the popcorn position. Oh, my goodness, his racing gloves are full of butter right now, and the pass is made. Move Vincent Bream up into what would be 4th position. Bamber drops behind.
Yeah, he slammed that door shut on Bamber coming out of the corner, and Bamber almost lost 5th spot to Sawyer, but he was able to hold the inside and get it back. But, man, he is going to be a little frustrated. He's got to feel like he's the 3rd fastest car, but he just couldn't find a way around the Salamander.
Let's check back up on the leaders. Oh, my goodness, a little bit of a hello there as Byfield just got the nose into the gearbox of Hofladason. Remember the big gap that we just saw before that was 7 or 8 car lengths? Well, now it's 7 or 8 inches at times. Look at Byfeld doing wide entries and trying to get a drive out of there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You got to wonder there if Byfeld maybe tried something different, maybe tried to outbrake himself, or at the same time, if Haflidazen was trying to throw him off a little bit, maybe hit the brakes a little earlier than normal, because, man, that was a close call through the first chicane.
If you dare to take your eyes off the middle of the screen, you can, oh my goodness, inches away as Byfeld from Haflidazen. You look at the top right of the screen right now, you can see it sitting there at just 14 minutes, 6 minutes of racing to go. Byfeld biding his time.
Yeah, and we had missed it about a half a lap ago. I just saw Vincent Brame. He went off track, so he lost 4th place, fell back to 6th. Bamber's back in P4.
Sauer up to 5th. My partner talked about Brame tucking in. Boy, the action is up front. We're just going to stay on it. Apologies to the rest of the field. We'll try to get you. Oh, there's the mistake from Haflidazen. Ha! 14 and a half minutes of pestering. And little sister finally bothered big brother. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. And Haflidazen makes the mistake. But now, let's see what Mikhail can come back with.
Got a lap car coming up in front of them too, so that could make it a little interesting here as they come up on James Molyneux.
The American driver with French heritage racing in the final points-paying position right now. Boy, this is not a position he wants to be in. And Molyneux just going to park it. Well done. Found a place to put the car and lets him by. Haflidazen able to stick with Byfeld. Here's a passing opportunity. Let's watch Haflidazen. He's 1 car length back, a half car length back. Doesn't get to him before corner number 1. They stay even out of corner number 1. Again, momentum to the guy behind. He can poke down in there. Haflidazen gets to the inside, but he's on the outside through this left-hander. Byfeld gets a little bit loose. Go ahead.
I thought he was going to go for the switchback, but you said, yeah, he got a little loose, couldn't cross him over. He's going to look to the outside here, though, at turn 5. A lot of banking. You can do this pass on the outside here, Soup.
Cialis bathtubs through the banking. Momentum on the outside, shorter distance on the inside. They bump. They both go off track. They both keep the car going straight. Gather up, take a deep breath, go at it again.
Yeah, and that's just good hard racing. Haflidazen might not be happy with Byfeld, but man, he didn't give Byfeld very much room. And oh, that was a good hard battle for P1.
We ride on board with Haflidazen as he saws on the wheel. The car gets very loose, and now he's got some ground to pick up. He's probably lost the toe, and that's wonderful news for the drivers that are behind. Now, the driver right behind is Molyneux. He's not in the mix. The beautiful English clouds pushing down on the track as we ride on board with Mikhail Haflidazen. Look at him trying to keep momentum. He's working hard. Look at him work the wheel. Oh, my goodness. Man, he's wrestling that machine. How fun to watch him racing right now. I wonder, look at the steering wheel. I wonder if the contact. Shaggy, does that steering wheel look tilted to you?
Yeah, look at that left front tire. He's
coming in.
He can't even do it anymore. Yeah, that left front, it's angled in so bad.
Well, that's bad news for Haflidazen as he's going to fall down the order. He was so close, you almost think the car must have been really undrivable. He had 2.5 more minutes he needed to wrestle it. The Salamander, Andre Salander, picked up a spot. Everyone will vulture a spot as well. So let's set the stage for. I'm going to run you through the field real quick. Byfeld out in front. The man who really hasn't had a whole lot of competition is Andre Salander. He's comfortably in second right now. He's been ahead of most of the nonsense going on behind. Neil Bamber and Ludwig Sauer race for third position. There's a chance that Sauer might be able to catch him. Vincent Breme had issues. He's fallen back. Wojciech Potacek really hasn't been much of a factor as well.
Breme's going to be thankful Haflidazen had that trouble, though, because that puts him in the coveted P5 spot. So he can hold on to it. He'll be on the pole for our next feature event.
Let me continue to run you through the field. We'll look at car number 11, Sky Stanek, racing in 8th position. Behind her, I believe it is Franz Strom, if I'm correct on that. Yes. Oh, no, it's Solo. There we go. Then a little farther back, we'll go to Strum. There he is. Car number 54. Stefan Milas didn't put in a qualifying time, racing in 11th. 3 more cars on the lead lap. Vladimir Stedchek, we have not heard much from him. Matthias Gustafsson in the baker's dozen position. And then Frederick Neptune. And why don't we just finish it out by looking at the driver who's done a good job getting out of the way of the lead traffic, the American driver James Molyneux in 15th, picking up a point.
Ludwig Sauer was just able to get by Neil Bamber, took over P3.
Bamber drops. Sauer having a nice run, started in 6th. Now racing in 3rd, is able to make his way around Bamber, Vincent Breen. And then he also vultured a spot for Mikael Hofladezen. Hofladezen racing in 7th, even after that pit stop, and he's back in the pits again. No, he's back out. I apologize. He's come out in 7th spot.
We jinxed them, Soup. We said the top 7 was in that position, and then they all rotated out. Everything changed.
Indeed. Checker flag. Marcus Byfeld. Battles a little farther behind. Salander will get 2nd position. Ludwig Sauer, Neil Bamber, Vincent Bream round out your top 5. Well, that was a fun one. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, we got good news for you. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to do it all again. And we're going to invert the field when we come back. Look for Vincent Breen to be starting on the pole, with Neil Bamber, Ludwig Sauer, Andre Salander, and Marcus Byfeld behind them as we invert the top 5. Take a short break. Don't go far. You're watching the Virtual Group Network.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Oulton Park Circuit and VGN's 5th round coverage of the races 7 and 8 on the season 36 schedule for Formula Neagle, sanctioned by the Absolute Beginner League. Well, the results are in. Let's give them to you right now. Remember, they're going to invert the top 5 for this next race number 2 here. Marcus Byfeld gets the win with Andre Salander right behind him. Ludwig Sauer and Neil Bamber had a battle for 3rd. Sauer gets the best of that one. Vincent Breen will have to settle for 5th. I'll take the next 2, then turn over the back 8 here to Shaggy. Wojciech Podacek will get 6th position with Mikael Hofladezen led much of the race, had that incident with Byfield, came back to finish 7th. Shaggy?
Yeah, the newcomer Sky Stanek able to overcome an off track, still race her way back up to 8th. And like I say, we're going with the female. Sky, if you're watching, feel free to join in the broadcast booth.
That's a degree.
We love hearing from people. So come in, talk to us at the end. Let us know if we're right or wrong. But Bronze Stoom, he's going to come home P9. Daniel Salo, tough break for him. Couple off tracks, going to come home 10th. Stefan Mali, P11. Vladimir Stage School's going to bring home 12th. Matthias Gustafsson in the Baker's Dozen spot. Frederick Neptune going to come home 14th. And James Molyneux is going to bring it home in 15th. But, we saw some excellent racecraft out of him, Soup. Really let the leaders battle it out.
Yeah, it's hard to do, and that's a scary position to be in, especially right in the race like that. He did a good job. All right, they're out there practicing right now. You can see that's a great shot as we look down. You can see the clouds have come by. What iRacing does there is you really get an idea of it's a beautiful day to go racing, but it's a little bit overcast when the clouds pass by. No rain on the forecast, though, and that's, at least for the commentators, the best news, although it does put on an exciting event, we must admit. But sometimes our vision and the camera angles we can use during a broadcast when there is precipitation limit us to how artistic we can be.
Holsitter was the first car to the grid. Somebody's excited up there, Soup.
Yes, indeed. We're not going to run down the order for you because we've already told you the grid, so you can see them out there as they tuck up. We'll just tell you that Vincent Bream is indeed out there sitting on the pole. It will be fun to watch Byfield work his way through. Now, the big news is Hofladen, because of the problems that he has, Shaggy, he's kind of out of the invert mix. He's back there where he finished in 7th. Close enough to be a factor, but he's got some work to do.
Well, yeah, somebody who's got to be shaking a little bit is Byfield. He's P5. I mean, him and Haflidazen, they got together a little bit. Haflidazen is right behind him here on the starting grid, and I'm sure he remembers.
For the second time today, make sure that your chickens are gathered out and you're safely taking cover behind the cows because the horses are out of the barn. Vincent Breed leaves the stampede down into the corner. Bamber is under attack. Solander is really fast, always on opening lap. My goodness, he is aggressive when we get going, and he's doing it again from 3rd position, working on the back of Bamber. Oh my, here he comes, Marcus Byfield through the field, and he's going to bring with him the yellow and blue car of Mikael Hofladen. Look what Hofladen has been able to do. Those two drivers are on the move.
And he's looking for that same move that made contact earlier. I thought he was going to go to the outside, thought best of it. But he's just going to bide his time here.
So picking up huge amounts of ground have been the men who really were the stars of the show for the first race. All this going on behind Vincent Bream and Bamber. They continue to race as fast as they can, but the big names are coming. Hofladen going to the outside, and he gets the pass made up by Phil.
Oh, you got to love that. I mean, he knows it's cold tires. If you're right behind the guy, you got to go now. He's going to make him work all race again to get back by him.
Byfield not surrendering Casper, though, as he continues to race hard. The action is for 3rd position. Byfield looks to the inside. Meanwhile, Hofladen has to race quickly enough to see if he can run down the 2 guys in front of him while he's holding off the points leader behind. The points leader, who has won now 6 out of 7 races, looking to make it 7 out of 8.
Hofladen, it looked like went off track there a little bit, but did a good job of keeping the wheel straight, not losing it. Bamber with a rough entry on turn 3. He's going to lose P3 and possibly fall back to P4 here.
He does indeed as Hofladen gets by. Byfield able to follow Hofladen through. Solander, who was so aggressive early on, racing now in 5th position. Still within shouting is Wojciech Podacek, but he needs a little more nonsense to happen in front of him for him to get in the mix.
Yeah, and Vincent Bream's sitting up there saying, come on, guys, you couldn't have made that any harder on those two.
Agreed. They got through pretty quick. The good news possibly for Bream is that Hofladen and Byfield don't really play well together. They could mix it up and slow each other down. What a great camera angle. The car you see at the top of your screen, that's Bream. He just drove out of it. There's Hofladezen in the blue and yellow checkered machine with Byfeld right behind him. Top of your screen in the white car, that is Bamber, who's trying to hold off Solander. Let's look at Solander right now. Here comes Potacek. So much action. We're jumping around. We'll try to watch everything. Hofladezen holding off Byfeld. Byfeld again challenging but not going anywhere, so the action's a little farther back.
Solander ducked off in the pits. Not sure what happened, but he had to pull off in the pits.
That is fascinating. There's the pass a little farther back. That is Sensical. And they get that sorted out. Let's go back up to second. The gap between the two drivers in second and third and your leader, Vincent Bream, continues to shrink.
Yeah, and one hiccup for Hofladezen opens the door for Byfeld to get by, so he's got to be smart but aggressive at the same time. He's got to make quick work of Bream here.
He does indeed. This is going to be tough sledding for Hofladezen. Bream is no slouch, and he's also out in front. And as wonderful and polite a driver that Vincent Bream is, he is out in front after all. He's not just going to hand it over to Hofladezen. Even if Hofladezen is quicker, he's going to make him earn it. Hofladezen has to be careful. I almost think that Byfeld's sitting back, looking at the clock, realizing maybe he doesn't want to get too close to what may happen in front of him.
Yeah,
There's
I think he knows he's got the pace to keep up, and yep, he just used Hofladezen to open the door, and now he's going to try to sneak on by. This line will translate to the inside here in turn one. Should be no problem. He should take over P2.
Pace and momentum. Well, the cream has rose to the top. Stefan Milas took a pit stop. He's coming out in front of the leaders. Everyone seems to get by him okay. Well, unlike most races, the best racing on the track continues to be up front. We will jump back when we see battles a little farther down. Let's take a quick peek at Stefan Neptune here, or Frederick Neptune. He's in ninth. He's got Sky Stanis coming. Stanek a little farther back. We'll keep an eye on that one.
Yep, Neil Bamber just made the pass going into the chicane there on Bream.
So Bream, who was out in front for a while, begins to drop. Hofladezen started in seventh. He's in the lead. Byfeld was in fifth. He's in second.
Yeah, that's got to be one of the best first laps we've seen in this league so far this year.
Look at how close and how much trust Byfeld has in Hofladezen as he continues to put his front ring under the rear wing of Hofladezen.
Yeah, one hiccup from Hofladezen and bye-bye to one of those front wing panels for Byfeld. So you got a lot of faith in that guy in front of you, especially after what we just saw happen in that first feature event.
Well, if you remember back just a few minutes ago, Byfeld, this is exactly the strategy he used in the first race, and he actually didn't have to make the pass on the track. It was the mistake by Hofladezen that opened the door for Byfeld to go through. Then when Byfeld came back and they fought, that's when Hofladezen came back, Byfeld maybe got the right sides on the rumble strips, drifted up, they made contact, and
what a save there for Hofladezen going through that. Oh my gosh, he had a handful of that wheel soup.
He is working it. Now the clouds come through, the track cools a little bit, maybe the grip level goes up a tiny bit for these two guys. Car length back, half a car length back. Great racing going on from the guys up front. Hofladezen now, he's in there. He's got his nose down in there. They look at Hofladazen rolls, and Byfeld got his nose down in there. Hofladazen with the momentum gets back out in front.
Yep, and you said it, just able to carry that momentum on the outside. There's nothing you can do when Byfeld can't carry it. He's got to back out of the throttle. And you see, he just has nothing, even with the draft going down the long straightaway.
So much racing left here. These two guys have nothing to worry about from competition behind. I don't think that Neil Bamber has any real thoughts of getting there. All right, another peak from Byfeld. Hofladazen is loose. There's the mistake. Roll to the top side is Byfeld, but Hofladazen has the preferred line. Boy, the track layout really worked for him there. He lost a ton of momentum, but the cards played well in his favor.
Yeah, and if you're Byfeld, you got to think back to what happened before. Whenever Hofladazen went on the outside, you don't want to press that issue too much if you're him, because you might get some of that medicine right back at you. So you got to be very selective of where you're going to do this thing.
And honestly, the way that Hofladazen, even with the mistake, is able to keep his momentum up, he was fighting the car off on the grass. There was a real chance that could have been wonderful news for Neil Bamber, as it was not beyond the realm of reality that Hofladazen might have looped that car right into Byfeld.
Yeah, he was thinking checkers or wreckers, I think, at that point. He's tired of finishing second to this guy. He's going to hold the throttle in it, and he's either going to bin it or win it. So, I mean, what a move from him.
Still not even to the halfway mark yet. We'll try to cut away from these guys and show you something else in a second, but really this is where the action is. It's just tough to get away because it happens so quickly. And it's not always the passing move that you can see coming. Sometimes it's the snap of the car getting loose from under Hofladazen.
Yeah, no, and it's unbelievable. We see those guys going at each other's throats, racing hard, and they're still the two fastest cars on the track. So, I mean, this is just so much fun to watch. They're not taking anything out of this battle. They are going hard.
All right, for a second, we're going to go to Bremen Neptune. Just for a second. I'm going to keep my other eye, one eye on the battle up front, and then watch Bremen Neptune, or a little bit of a battle going on back there. Neptune trying to run him down. Up front, everything stays copacetic. So we continue to look at that battle a little farther back for what would be 8th and 9th position.
Yeah, and Ludwig Sauer's really run down Wojtek Podacek as well. He's all over him for the
Let's go up front.
place position.
He's making a move. Byfeld got behind him. He's pulling alongside, putting the pressure on. And again, honestly think Byfeld's doing a little bit of wants a little bit of screen attention here. It's making it impossible for us to get away from him.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's playing a game within the game. He's taking little shots here and there. And we saw it. You said he didn't really have to make the pass last time. Hofladazen made a hiccup. And all those shots just peeking left and right, they really add up. And, I mean, the stress starts to build on Hofladazen. He's got to stay calm and cool.
Well, the one time they were actually racing side by side on the track, it didn't go well, and it was just happened that fate made it worse for Hofladazen than it did for Byfeld. But certainly Byfeld would like to get by as safely as he could. Glad you're with us. Round number 5, race number 8. All right, now we look a little farther back. That's that Neptune battle again. Scrolling through, looking for any battles that are out on the track. Not a whole lot going on out there. We'd be remiss if we didn't focus our attention on the leaders. And again, I want to drill down on the strategy here at VGN. We pride ourselves, if there's a great battle somewhere back in the field, we love to go there. So often, when you watch one of these broadcasts, they pay attention up front, even if there's not a lot of action. But the best action and the most dramatic action and the most significant action is between the guys up front. We're past the halfway mark now. Shaggy, when Byfield was able to get around Hofladezen in race 1, Hofladezen did not go away. He was back at him right away. So I think Byfield must realize that when the pass is made, his job is not done.
No, you're exactly right. I mean, these guys are at a different level than most other drivers, and they know that if somebody compromises corner entry to pass them, that their exit's going to be messed up, and they try to do the wide cut back like we saw Hofladezen do to make the move on the outside. They're always thinking 2 turns ahead. So you've got to make sure, like you said, you get this done on the right part of the track, that once you make the pass, you can defend. And he's looking here.
He's looked here before, and this time he forces the issue, but through that little dipsy-do, a little hokey-doke, a little up and under. They are side by side, but it doesn't work out. What great racing!
I don't know how they just went side by side through that whole chicane. They made it work, no contact, and they're still going.
I've been listening to some of the driver chat right now, and Neil Bamber has been talking to Hofladezen, telling Hofladezen that Byfield thinks his sister is ugly. They are side by side again. Oh, now the preferred racing line is to Byfield. Byfield should be able to finish this up, I would think.
Yeah, Hofladezen has to keep the car there, stay on the outside, and now it cuts back into him having the preferred line, Soup. What a battle!
Cannot get it done, but it's not over yet. Byfield with the momentum. He's looking at him again as he moves to the driver's left.
We've seen this before.
This time he will be on the inside. They don't touch, but they are darn close. They roll around it now. It's the shorter distance against the momentum on the outside. They've been in this corner before, and it doesn't work. Byfield has to go off into the English alfalfa, but he brings it back, and he has still plenty of time to run him down.
Yeah, you know, as long as he doesn't see that red mist, you're right. This may be a blessing in disguise. Plenty of time to run him down. You get a little bit of a gap, let those front tires cool, let him breathe, and go back at him twice as hard the second time around.
You talk about the strategy between Hofladezen and Byfield. Well, Bamber has strategy as well. I'll finish my thought. He's been coming over the microphone, telling Hofladezen that Byfield thinks his sister is ugly, going to Byfield and telling Hofladezen thinks your mother is fat, trying to build up the animosity between those two, hoping that something will happen, and maybe Neil Bamber can vulture himself a win.
That's definitely what he's hoping for, and with the way these guys have been going at it, Soup, he may get his wish here.
He definitely made up some ground. It's not as if it's going to matter that he's going to need something to happen for these guys for Bamber to get in the mix. Now you got to start looking at the clock on the top there and the distance that Byfield has to make up. Byfield clearly faster, but he's out of the toe. He's going to have to do it the old-fashioned way, and it's a pretty good gap back to those guys.
Yeah, and turn 1, he overdrove a little bit. The exit went out on the grass, and doing stuff like that, Soup, that's not going to help his cause. He needs to be calm, smooth. He knows he's quick, but he just can't drive over his head here. He's got the pace.
Give us an opportunity right now to talk about a couple other drivers. Let's look at Frederick Neptune in the 666, started in 14th position, curling in 7th. Great run from him. Vincent Bream, who started on the pole, he's fallen back. Things have gone south for him. He's an 8th spot. Might be a little bit of a battle. Let's look on the Salamander, 140, racing in 10th position. Within shouting distance to him and coming is James Molyneux. Molyneux having a much better race than he did in the opening round.
Yeah, we saw the Salamander have to make a pit stop early, so that definitely put a damper on this race, but good recovery for him to be able to get back in the top 10.
Oh, there's a spin. Let's see if I can figure out who that was. We just got going. Oh, Molyneux, who was having that run. Oh, we jinxed him. Nevertheless, I don't think he's going to lose a position. All right, let's check back in on the interval. You can see it shrinking a tiny bit on screen. Byfield closing, but the gap still several car lengths.
Yeah, but like you said, he definitely is closing, and the closer he gets to that half-second gap, the more draft pull he'll get down these straightaways. So Don't turn it off just yet, ladies and gentlemen. We might get a battle here on this last lap.
Oh, I would think he's probably very, very close to getting a draft advantage now as they go down the straight. Watch them work through these twisty sections.
This is where we've seen him really excel all day through these chicanes. I mean, he just gained a 10th.5. He's just been excellent under braking. And, I mean, it's so hard to complete the pass through here, as we've seen. He's tried, and that's why he can't get it done. But that's where he's really good. And the leader went off track a little bit. That's not going to help Haflidazen.
Indeed. Clearly, the designers of this track had a gift certificate for Chicanes Are Us, as they are everywhere on this one. If you like chicanes, this is the place for you to be. Now just 4 car lengths back is your points leader. 3 car lengths back, 2 car lengths back. Yes, it's the accordion effect as they head into the corner, but nevertheless, it seems like it only shrinks. It doesn't expand on corner exit. He's there. White flag. All right, Shaggy. Where's he try?
He's got to go for it here on the outside again. I know he doesn't want to fail, but this is where he can really try to outbrake Haflidazen and go for it. I mean, he's got to make the move here.
He's there now.
Yep, he's going to look.
The next corner is the hairpin, the banked one, where they'll be side by side. This really isn't the corner we're talking about. It's coming up right now. Cialis Bathtubs. Shorter way around for Haflidazen. Momentum for Byfeld. This is the corner where they've got together before. This time, Shaggy, they make it through, and now we got a drag race.
You're not kidding. Drag race into the first chicane, and Haflidazen's going to win that, but who gets the better exit? Oh, we got a battle.
They continue to race side by side. Now Byfeld with a half car length lead. Another chicane coming. Haflidazen will be in the preferred position first. Byfeld in the preferred position next. They continue to work, rolling around the top side is Haflidazen. Byfeld isn't done yet. The corners are running out, Shaggy.
Oh my gosh, you're not kidding, but he's going to get a big enough draft here. I think he can try to outbrake him here. Is Haflidazen going to shut the door? He did. He shut the door. Byfeld's going to go back to the outside. He's running out of time here, Soup. He's the last corner to be able to do it.
He's going to have to try to do it on the outside. The start-finish line comes up pretty quick. There's not a lot of racing left. They touch, they bang. They both go off on the grass. Who gets momentum first? They're rolling. Haflidazen scooting up in his chair using his Flintstone feet. The winner is Mikkel Haflidazen in a great final lap battle. Marcus Byfeld takes second. Neil Bamber settles for third. Oh, sweet sassy Molassie.
Oh my gosh, I gotta catch my breath up here. Those guys wheel to wheel that final half lap, and man, you gotta respect Haflidazen and Byfeld. They just clean. I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that.
Off the final corner, both of them trying to see how much grip they could get on the grass to get the cars going. We hope you enjoyed that one as much as we did calling it. We'll take a short break. We'll come back. Don't go away, because we'll want to talk to the drivers who were involved in that battle. You're watching the Virtual Grip Network.
This is iRacing, the world's premier online racing game. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat to experience today's newest form of competitive motorsport, virtual racing, all from your home PC. Race virtually in indoor series from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, the World of Outlaws, Aussie Supercars and more. Take on legendary circuits like Daytona, Silverstone and the Nürburgring. Join iRacing's global online racing community and get on track today at iRacing.com.
Let me hustle back to the microphone after taking some blood pressure medicine on my doctor's advice, who was watching that broadcast, immediately called into my house and said, Soup, take some extra pills. I've done it, Doc. I'm feeling okay. I hope you guys enjoyed what we just gave you. You're here at Oulton Park Circuit, VGN's 5th round coverage of race number 7 and the last one, number 8, that was so exciting. Season 36 here for Formula Neagle's, sanctioned as always by the Absolute Beginner League. Let's give you the results, and just telling you the results paints such a poor picture of the excitement that just happened. Mikael Hofladezen came from 7th to get the win, and to do it he had to fend off a valiant effort from Marcus Byfeld, who finishes out of the lead for only the second time this season. Neil Bamber was watching the whole thing happen, cheering on for something bad to happen. He could vulture a win. Didn't happen, as the Hofladezen and Byfeld had too much talent for that. Bamber settles for 3rd. Ludwig Sauer and Wojciech Podacek quiets 4th and 5th for them. I'll take the next 2. Daniel Solo, well, he comes home in 6th. And Frederick Neptune, we talked about what he was able to do. He orbited his way around this circuit, and he came home half the distance from where he started, 14th to 7th. Shaggy?
Yeah, Vincent Brame, he looked good there for a little bit, started up front, was able to lead the first 3 or 4 laps, but kind of fell off the pace there, brought it home in P8, but overall, I think he'll be happy with that. Salamander, Andre Salander, he had to make an extra pit stop there. He's going to bring it home in 9th. The newcomer Sky Stanik's going to bring it home P10. Franz Stum's going to bring it home P11. James Molyneux going to stay on the lead lap this one, so pretty good one for him. Bring it home P12. Vladimir Stedskull's going to bring it home P13. Stefan Smee is going to bring it home 14th. And Matthias Gustafsson is going to bring it home P15.
And again, we invite Sky Stanek to come on into the booth right now and give us a little gender clarification. If not, we're going with the female persuasion. Okay, we're going to bring in Michael Hofladezen right now. We're going to dial him up. Michael, it's Soup and Shaggy here. We're going to double team this one. I'm going to take the first race. Shaggy's going to take the second race. Let's go back to the battle with Byfeld early on then, and you guys got together, and I guess your car got damaged.
Yeah, it was net code on my end. Marcus said he put on the gas a bit early, but I don't blame him. I mean, we're side by side fighting for the lead. I mean, you expect shit to happen, so I mean, no hard feelings. It's kind of sad I got a meatball and couldn't really get the win in the first race, or at least the second place, but 7 is still a good result.
So help me understand what's going on. We went on board with you after the incident. We saw that the wheel was tilted, but you had a forced pit stop. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I had a meatball, and the car was pretty sketchy to drive as well. So I was unsure if I was gonna make it 2 laps. I felt safer just pitting and having a fresh car in the end.
Well, in the end, you ended up in 7th position. That got you close enough to put a run on it. Shaggy, I'll let you bring up the second race.
Yeah, speaking of bringing up the second race, speak us through that start. That was probably the best first lap I've seen out of anybody in this F4 car all year, Mikael.
Well, thank you very much for that. It's warm words. I've driven a lot of F4 on iRacing, so I have the start pretty much nailed down, so obviously get a good launch. Obviously helped with one car being standing still on the grid when I passed him, and then was able to just get in between Marcus and I think it was Wojtek into turn 1, and yeah, from there just kind of plow on. I felt really comfortable in the combo today, so I mean I'm pretty happy with how the race 2 went. I mean, fending off Marcus there in the end was crazy. I really thought it was going to get to me, and I got loose there and accidentally pushed him wide. And that's why I went so much to the right, because I felt so bad. I thought he was going to have a run and take me.
Yeah, going into that second chicane on the final lap, I'm going to be honest with you. I thought you handed it over. He was ahead going in there. But, man, you were just able to outbrake him. He got loose under braking, and you just sealed the deal. You did what you had to there. Those final 2 corners, you got the elbows out. And, not that we're rooting against Marcus, but, man, it's cool seeing somebody else go up there and run with him and dominate the way you did today. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It's always fun to race with Marcus. I race with him in the Swedish F4 League as well, and it's always fun to race with him. So, yeah, it's nice to race with him on more days than just one.
Michaela Soup, real quick on that final corner, final question for you. Certainly Marcus was in the grass. He had trouble getting the traction down. Did you drift off as well, or were you far enough on the pavement that you were able to get it going okay?
I was never out on the grass. I was just I think I was on the curb or maybe even inside the curb. So I was never on the grass, which I think was the thing that gave me
made a bit
the
of
race.
difference. Yeah,
exactly.
It was fun. Thanks for putting on a show. Well done.
Thank you. See you guys soon.
Mikael Hofladezen, he finished 7th in the opening round, but he picks up the win. Let's go ahead. We'll quickly talk to Bambi as we'll bring in Neil Bamber. He had a nice performance. Boy, they are coming. He was a hard time. We didn't get to talk to him early on because he wasn't even close to podiums. But, man, he is podium friendly right now. A 4th in the opening round and a 3rd here in the final one. Neil, I don't know if you were close enough to see what was going on in front of you on that final lap of that final race, but it was something.
So towards the end, yeah, I almost run off the track coming down to the chicane down the back because I was too busy looking ahead to see what was going on, but yeah, it looked like it was close.
I'm thinking about one of the things we were talking about in the race, and I don't know if this goes through your head, but do you ever think, I might be able to vulture a win here if those two guys get together?
Most definitely, yeah. I was watching, I saw Marcus drop back, he must have gone off, I think, and then I was watching the relative, seeing him catching him up, and then there was exactly the same distance in front of me. I thought, this could get quite spicy.
And the opening round, you had a bit of an issue, fell back a bit, you had to fight back. It was drop down, come back a little bit.
Yeah, I was tucked up behind Andre, and I just couldn't. He wasn't making any mistakes. It's really hard to get past anybody around here unless they make a little bit of a mistake somewhere. I think I had one opportunity on lap 7 up the hill at the back of the circuit, but he did some defending that I think Kev Magnussen would have been proud of.
Let me ask you a question about tires on cold tires on the opening lap, because when we watch it, Salander, he seems incredibly aggressive early on, and I don't know, he's racing around you, so you probably feel it. It's really not his characteristic throughout the race, but early on cold tires, man, it's something else. Is the car very much different in the first couple corners of the race?
It is, yeah, on the high speed left-hand, you just got a little bit careful on the first couple of laps, but after that, it's not too bad, actually.
All right, well, it's fun to watch your race. Congratulations. The results are coming in now. Well done.
Cheers, Sue. Can I just say thanks to Kieran, who is in the chat every week, and he supports me. He's a lad I work with, and also to you guys for putting on a great broadcast, and all the ABL guys for organising this great series.
What is his name again? Because you're British, and I have trouble understanding the language.
He's Kieran.
Okay, that's still not going to help, but I'll give him a yell out next time. Congratulations, man.
Thanks. Cheers, Sue.
That'd be one of those things where I would say it exactly the same way, and he would say, no, it's this way, and we would just repeat it 20 times, and it would sound exactly the same from both of us. Hey, we hope you enjoyed the broadcast. If you did, we're going to do it again next week, but it won't be here, and it won't be in these cars. It'll be a different track. Where's it going to be? Well, it'll be the GT3s. Oh, my goodness, we're going to Germany for the green hell. I don't want to go there. Am I off that week, May 19th? No, I'm broadcasting. Okay. Come on in and see us do the best we can for that monster of a racetrack. But before then, something much more easy for the commentators. A nice little oval at Rockingham. That's going to be week 31, season 6 of the Pretty Good Racing League. So catch both of those, all of that. Future ones, past ones, those are all productions of the Virtual Group Network. With that way, let me wander into the coat room here, see if I have a hat for you. I do not. So let me just shake your hand, give you a fist bump, high five, say until next time, have fun storming the castle.